My name is Alexander Siegel, and today we're going to talk about DACA. On June 18, 2020, the Supreme Court ruled that DACA, as implemented back in 2012, would be reinstated and should be reinstated. DACA is an acronym for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It was established as as a protection against deportation for many young people who were brought to the United States by their parents or came alone without a parent and ended up in limbo and couldn't obtain any immigration status. The program was a great way to supplement a gap in legislation that was originally known as a DREAM Act but never came into being. These aliens would also be granted employment authorization for a period of 2 years, which was renewable as long as they did not violate the terms of DACA or committed a crime or a violation make them ineligible. The program actually went so far as to provide for a permission to travel called as advance parole, so people could travel outside of the United States, perhaps to visit a sick relative, or to try to come back as an added benefit, and this time be paroled into the United States, and thus resolve all the difficulties associated with having no inspection in the original entry, as many people were plagued by this problem, and they couldn't really adjust status or get any immigration benefits because they originally entered without inspection. On September 5, 2017, after a decision by the Trump administration, USCIS was no longer accepting first-time applications or initial requests for DACA. This created uncertainty for many aliens. They could not apply for individual requests and had to remain under the radar without authorization to work, many of whom were married and were raising and supporting American children. The decision to no longer accept DACA applications was challenged eventually. The case made it all the way to the United States Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court recently stated in its 5-4 decisions that the way Trump administration proceeded in trying to terminate DACA was improper and was a violation of Administrative Procedure Act. In fact, it's ordered the DACA to be implemented to its original state as it was initially enacted in 2012. United States Citizenship Immigration Services therefore needs to accept both renewal of DACA applications as well as new applications. There are many reports that the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, refusing to do so. It makes every sense in the world to apply as soon as possible without delay, because that could bring people a whole number of benefits. Many reports have come out that USCIS is refusing to accept DACA initial requests and does so without explanation. A number of immigration lawyers reported the DACA applications were submitted and then rejected outright without explanation. Again, this could potentially create a larger issue down the line where USCIS refuses to accept applications despite the fact that they are required to do so and adjudicate accordingly. But if USCIS is rejecting DACA applications, it wouldn't be better to wait and see what develops and how this situation progresses? No, it wouldn't. For the reasons I just stated, the sooner you can apply, the better, because the entire program will eventually be terminated if Trump administration remains. The Supreme Court said that in essence, Trump administration can end DACA program, but they would need to do so appropriately with adequate justification. While it can take time, it eventually might happen, and people might lose the ability to apply for DACA. If Congress doesn't act by that time, those people are going to find themselves again in a limbo and without any recourse on immigration eligibility for any immigration benefit. Although it's still a bit early to tell, many of initial requests for DACA which were filed recently have yet to be rejected or issued receipts for notices. In some cases, CSCS has deposited filing fees, which is always a good sign that potentially they might be accepting those applications for processing.